Did you know that the United States used an unbreakable code during World War II, and it was based on the Navajo language? In times of war, one of the greatest challenges is communication. If the enemy intercepts your messages and deciphers them, it can turn the tide of battle against you. This was a huge problem for the United States during World War II. Military codes were constantly at risk of being cracked by the Axis powers, especially by the highly skilled Japanese cryptographers. But in 1942, the U.S. Marine Corps came up with an extraordinary solution. They recruited a group of Navajo men and assigned them a top-secret mission to create a new military code based on their unwritten, highly complex language. These men would later be known as the Navajo Code Talkers, and their work would help change the course of the war. Why was Navajo chosen? The Navajo language was the perfect choice for a secret code. At the time, it was spoken by fewer than 30,000 people, most of whom lived in the American Southwest. The language was not written down and had an incredibly complex structure, making it nearly impossible for outsiders to learn. In fact, during World War I, the U.S. had already experimented with Native American languages for codemaking, but never on this scale. The Japanese military had been able to break other American codes, including those used by complex machines like the Enigma cipher used by the Germans. But the Navajo language? That was an entirely different challenge. Even the Japanese cryptographer captured a Navajo soldier. The chances of decoding the messages were almost zero. How did the code work? The Navajo Code Talkers didn't simply translate English into Navajo. That would have been too risky. Instead, they developed an entirely new system, assigning Navajo words to military terms in ways that made the code impossible to decipher. For example, they used the word turtle to represent a tank and chicken hawk to refer to a dive bomber. The word for whale was used to mean a battleship. And to spell out names or locations, they assigned Navajo words to letters of the alphabet. The Navajo word for ant stood for the letter A, while bear stood for B, and so on. This meant that even if someone figured out part of the code, they wouldn't be able to piece together the full message. The code in action, the first group of 29 Navajo Code Talkers, was sent to training in 1942. At first, the military was skeptical. Could these young men really create an unbreakable code? But after seeing them in action, commanders were stunned. During the war, the Code Talkers played a vital role in major battles across the Pacific. They worked under extreme pressure, often in the middle of firefights, relaying critical information about enemy positions, reinforcements, and attack strategies. One of their most famous contributions came during the Battle of Iwo Jima in 1945. Over the course of the battle, the Navajo Code Talkers sent over 800 messages, without a single mistake. Their speed and accuracy helped U.S. forces capture the island, which was a major turning point in the Pacific theater. Even high-ranking officers admitted that without the Code Talkers, victory would have been much more difficult. Major Howard Connor, a signal officer in Iwo Jima, famously said, "Were it not for the Navajos, the Marines would never have taken Iwo Jima." The code that was never broken, the incredible thing about the Navajo Code, it was never cracked. The Japanese, who had successfully deciphered nearly every other American code, were left completely baffled by the Navajo transmissions. After the war, military leaders realized just how important the Code Talkers had been. However, their contributions remained classified until 1968. For more than 20 years, the world had no idea about their role in the war, recognition, and legacy because their mission was kept secret. Many Navajo Code Talkers never received proper recognition after the war. They returned home as heroes, but without medals, without celebrations, and without acknowledgement. It wasn't until decades later that the U.S. government finally honored their service. In 2001, President George W. Bush awarded the original 29 Code Talkers the Congressional Gold Medal, one of the highest honors in the country. Today, the Navajo Code Talkers are remembered as some of the most important figures in military history. Their legacy is a testament to the power of language, intelligence, and bravery.